a good one.
What's up? What's up,
Oh, my
fellas?
boy, they hit the record
Hold
button.
on.
Yes, sir.
What's
Trying
going
to
on,
get it
people?
popping.
Man,
Man. We
Mm,
just gonna talk about
man.
the
I
current
felt
state.
that.
Man, I know, man.
We
Man,
got
I know.
that coffee, man. You straight?
You gotta
Be a
clear the
long
throat,
night.
man.
It ain't that good though. Nah.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about the election, guys, and it's currently election Tuesday,
Yes,
and
sir.
the count is
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
man,
She ain't too sure about that election.
man. 89 electoral votes for Biden and 54 for Trump currently. And some of the battleground states, Ohio still got 64% in, which is one of the big ones. Man, I don't know about y'all, man. I'm not necessarily nervous, but stranger things have
I
happened.
was
Bro.
nervous.
You nervous, DC?
I was nervous.
Stranger things have happened, man. And a lot. I'm gonna say this before we just dive into it, man. And we were talking about earlier, man. James said it too. I'm just surprised at the number of people that's actually voting for this guy still. Like some of the states that are tight like they are right now, man. I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time figuring out what's the driver. And after seeing everything this dude has done, lied about, said, and this ain't even about Joe being the best possible choice, bro. This is just about the dude that's in there right now being the worst possible choice. So I want to kick off with just everybody giving me their current state, how they feeling right now about this election, man.
Man, go ahead, James. Go ahead.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
Man, I'm not surprised, man. I'm and your mind to me don't change in 4 years because they turned out in droves 4 years ago, and if you've been keeping up with the crazy folks in what was that, Fort Worth, right, Deezy?
Yeah.
With the caravan and I mean
Austin.
in the
Awesome.
rallies, it's pretty evident to me the blue lights everywhere and the fights, all that stuff that's been going on, man. I'd be like, man, these people ready. They ready to go. So personally, it wasn't a big surprise to me to see the turnout. Now, to your point, with everything that has happened in the 4 years, three almost four, that has happened, it's pretty surprising to say the least. But I'm not surprised, man.
Man.
Man, I would say, I mean, I'm nervous looking at it. I mean, hopefully I can sit here and say like everything will, continue to stay the same. I mean, I go through my life, as far as this and that. But I think the biggest thing that's on really like the ballot is you concreting, are you pretty much just, as America, we concreting this guy in place if we elect him in and all the behavior that has came behind it. And that's the scary part about it's not even necessarily, I mean, it is about Trump. We got to get Trump out. You're Republican, Democrat, we passed that, I feel like, with just the stuff that he's done. Like you said, you may not necessarily be a Democrat or even just like Joe Biden, but I mean, Trump ain't it. Like, I mean, we can easily just say that. And again, I'm surprised as far as even the turnout because, I thought with just some more moderate-minded people, they voted for Trump the first time around just because he was different. Hillary was very unpopular. So I figured, a lot of people that just voted to say, hey, let me get an insider in there. They have seen what has happened, and this and that, and just be like, okay, that was a failed experiment. But what we also seeing, I'm just cut it up real quick, is I feel like it's a cult. I mean, everybody been kind of name dropping that and saying that, but just seeing the numbers as we've seen it now, like, I mean, that's what it's turned into. That's the only other reason why you want to support this guy. And like we talked earlier, outside of, money being a driver, I mean, you still got a moral compass, but I mean, if money is your, moral compass, I can understand why you're voting for the guy because of the plans that he put in place for you. But anybody else, like, come on.
It's
like,
hard to figure out, bro.
I just don't understand it.
It's
like,
hard to
Yeah,
figure out.
you in that middle class. It's hard to understand.
I'm looking
Makes
at it
no
right now,
sense.
man. So that's why y'all see my head focused this way. I just be looking at these numbers while y'all talking, but don't get distracted by me.
I'm looking at it too.
Diesel, go ahead, bro.
And I'm scared.
He's nervous, man.
Is he nervous?
which
Let's do women.
which numbers are scaring you, man? We looking at you talking overall, you talking
Bruh.
certain states. What
Bruh.
let me know.
There ain't nothing about this that make me feel like anything's a shoe in, and I just don't know what's gonna happen with 4 more years of this clown, bro. The whole I'm not scared of whether Biden will win or lose. I'm scared that Trump will win. I'd rather have Jarvis Chambers as my president, and I know he don't know nothing about no politics. Not like that.
Neither did Trump in 16.
That's real. I just exactly. And
Bro,
he
don't
showed
lie.
what that looks like. He showed exactly what that would do. He don't listen to nobody. He don't care if nobody is good or not. No, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I used to say, man, he racist. I just think he might just be ignorant and just not care about nobody. He might just really not care about anybody but himself and the people that he care about. I'm not sure anymore. I mean, the way he was on what was it, Twitter, Instagram the other day, happy that those people down was happy about that.
Okay.
There we go.
He was
About the
happy about
caravan.
what, bro?
About the caravan running people.
Oh
off the road.
man, and yeah, man, that's sick, bro. You a
Yeah,
sick man.
you gotta denounce that stuff, man.
You a sick
And
man, bro.
the fact that you're not even putting an end to it, denouncing it, not trying to put your name even remotely close to it it's sick, man. It's sick.
Well, you don't want to denounce
Exactly.
anything. You don't want to denounce anything that you endorse.
Right.
So,
Man, that dude
That
big.
shows you a lot. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll jump in there. I'm not scared per se of the results. Because I just feel like, when you're in a certain America's middle class, if you will. I mean, I had to wake up and go to work 80, 85 hours, before him. I'm gonna have to kind of do the same after. The thing that just blows my mind, like, I just worry about people's emotional state of mind. I literally, you look at where we are right now, and like you just see, like little videos, and you see like people are like literally emotionally unstable. And I think Trump win, bro. Like you literally, I wouldn't be shocked if you look up 2 years and you literally like on the brink or in a civil war, bro. Because like I piggyback off J Star's point, like at this point, it's not even, man. It's not no black. It's not blue red. It's not even politics, bro. Like my thought process is, when does morality come into play? Like, forget it, because typically you take a Democrat, you take a Republican, on a lot of issues, they saying the same thing. One just feels like you get there this way, another person feels like you get there that way. But like you literally got somebody that is literally secretly endorsing, because if somebody tells you to denounce white supremacy and you absolutely do not denounce white supremacy, then you either denounce it or you're in support of it.
My boy Blaze over so quick.
Well, it's funny.
And
I've heard people say like those little, oh, he denounced it at this little rally or that little rally, but on the biggest stage ever.
exactly. You say stand by or stand down. You the Proud Boys. There's some really fine people on both sides. Like, dude, you know what you're doing. Like nobody's that slow. Nobody's that, and that's my fear, is because you waking up all those people, and you got those people and they're operating like that. And I'm afraid you mess around, let him win this election. Oh,
Yeah.
please. They untouchable then.
They're gonna get stronger.
And we ain't our ancestors.
And I would throw that in because, I was watching something kind of back door to you. I don't think it was in Texas, but it was another rally where a whole bunch of Trump people surrounded a lady in a parking lot, with the flags and the trucks and, trying to knock her phone out. She called over for the cops,
Mm-hmm.
The cops look at it like, ain't nothing we can do.
What I'm supposed to do?
And that's the part that, like, you going back to saying, like, that's the scary part, is because he's emboldening these people. And some of these people, as we already talked about in other episodes and this and that, like, these white supremacists and things to that nature are infiltrated in all these police forces around the world, around the United States. And, you know, not to be alarmist or anything like that, but, you know, just looking at history, like, they say, you know, you look at history, you always, you know, bound to repeat itself. And man, there's a lot of just correlations with just like taking over a country with a police force. You know, we've seen how he's done it with the border patrol down there with the people coming across the border. You've seen how they done it with the protesters, like in Portland and DC, where he sent the people out and, you know, rounding people up with a secret force. Bro, if he wins, like I said, it's not in the sense of a Democrat winning or a Republican winning. It's literally like the country that we know of still operating. Like you said, J-Rock, like if he wins, you know, we joke about it, but hell, the next step is the purge. I mean,
ain't nothing left.
Bro,
it's nothing.
Bro, J-Rod,
it's that or a civil war.
J-Rod said it perfectly. Like the emotional state, bro, because you gotta think about how 2020 basically set off this freaking avalanche, man. It was like you knew the dude was trash, but when you needed a level of emotional support, not just from him, but just from safety, being sure about things and having, you know, not having to be reluctant about tomorrow. Whereas this dude started throwing gasoline on every fire he ever saw. And it's just like, how can you, bruh, you know, people literally going around saying, look, every black person need a gun. Like, bruh, even if that ain't true in every area, the fact that you got to think about the possibility of that being true, you can't be emotionally stable like that, bruh. So if you got people running people off the road right now for a dude to get back in office, if he gets back in office, how are you supposed to reconcile that in your head? How are you supposed to be like, well, he back in there now, I guess everybody's just gonna go back to normal and be happy? No, you're gonna start thinking like, man,
it's gonna be amplified
now. Yeah. So I agree, man.
And I'll throw one more thing in there. And I would say, you know, we kind of said it beforehand before we got on the call, and J-Rock kind of said that, I'm gonna bring it back up. But, you know, and I think about it, like, you know, it's kind of, I feel like a little disingenuous to say that because we're at a certain level that the election doesn't matter to us. I mean, I know we were talking about more or less, you know, taxes and different things to that nature, but even so, like, I mean, these two people have two separate platforms that, you know, and if you've seen it even in the previous times, you know, programs that Democrats, you know, push out or whatnot like that. I mean, they do trickle down and help, you know, middle class, lower income, all that. So to sit there and say like, okay, if Trump you know, if he wins, that nothing. I think that's another push that why we don't see a lot of voter turnout, because it's like, I mean, when is it going to affect me? You know, he gets in office, it's not going to affect me. This person getting in office, it's not going to affect me. I'm still going to work my 80 hours or, you know, whatever. So I mean, I think we kind of start getting that mind frame out, like to say these are elections that mean something. You know, I mean. It touches everybody.
It's like you said, man. Even with the COVID thing,
right? That's true.
Like you had, like, you look at COVID, bro. You had an opportunity just to be a decent person and just say, "Hey, it's serious. You know, we don't know a lot of details. It's scary. Take precautions, whatever." Like it's a stupid Chinese disease. Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's just like the flu. Like, bruh, you got I forgot the number, which is even sadder, but I think it was like 240 or something, 240K or something last time I heard. But like you, Lou, you got people that haven't seen their parents since February or March, bro. Like grandparents,
all that stuff
sad because they can't go see their grandkid. Like that is a grandparent's life, is a grandkid, and you literally can't even go hug your grandkid because you got people in power that, you know, refuse to own up and just try to, you know, integrate things that at least just shows or says, hey, safety is important. Like
we made
it's
safety a
ridiculous,
political
bro. Like
thing. We made putting on a mask a political
Right.
thing.
Yes,
Like
bro.
if
Everything.
that's one indicative thing as far as saying like I have no kind of I don't know, man. I'm just kind of speechless when it comes to something like that.
But bro,
Yeah,
not
blown
only
on
did
me.
you make that a
Like it's too
political
easy.
thing,
It's too easy. Like put on a mask.
yeah, not only did you make that a political thing, you made that a respective side. Like if you wear a mask, this is the side you automatically associate that person with being for Trump, Republican, whatever you want to say.
Mhm.
And you automatically
Mhm.
associate that. And like James said, it's a matter of safety, bro. Like a matter of me taking care of you and you taking care of me. And you can't even do that as a human being without thinking about choosing sides, without being political. You know, it just blows my mind. And that's the type of stuff that in all my years, bro, I have never seen the level of divide that I've seen with this guy in office. And if
Right.
anybody denies that, bro, they just being illogical. I understand. I told y'all about that conversation I had with those two guys that were trying to explain to me why Joe was bad and why Trump is okay. But one thing that I said to them was that, like, it doesn't matter how much you say Trump has done well or done good. If you cannot sit here and say to me that he has caused the most divide, you are literally not trying. Because even if everybody lives in their pockets, which everybody, people do tend to live in a certain pocket. If this is what you're used to seeing, you don't necessarily know about another area.
Mhm.
It's all over the place though. Things we've
Yeah.
never seen before. Like it's taking us back all the way to civil rights times. You know what I'm saying? This is basically a rerun of a time that we never ever wanted to go back to. Why would you want to stay in that? Why would that be okay for you? People want segregation again, clearly, but it's so much without saying. So I just that's all the more reason why this election I can't wake up in the morning and see this dude as president, bro. I just don't want to see it, bro. I mean, I feel like I'll be okay. I'm like, J-Rock, I gotta be okay, but I just don't know if the state of affairs is gonna be where it needs to be.
Man, I don't you hit it home on that mask thing, man.
Yeah, man.
I got a coworker, bro. He's like, man, his intentions are less government, which I can understand people being like that. They don't want the government to, like tell them what to do. Stay out of my business. Let me run it. Let me do what I want to do. Blah blah blah. And then, but in the next breath, he said, you know, if the Democrats come in there, they're gonna take your guns,
Right.
and or the Democrats come in, they're gonna try to tell you, to wear a mask and all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, your own governor who you voted for set the mandate.
Right. It's your guy.
I mean, that's your dude.
Crazy.
I mean, it don't make it's not logical thinking, man.
And people really think that they could just come in and take guns. You know what it
They
would take
do.
for the
But even what's so crazy about that is
entire
Breaking up.
document
you
to make that work.
You broke up there, Deez.
Oh, my fault. I said there's no way they could actually change an amendment.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
I
not
You
that
just
easy.
get elected and say, we're gonna change the Second Amendment. Like y'all can't have guns no more.
Clearly they can't
Yeah.
change because black people still add-ons. We literally are an amendment.
Yeah.
I never heard the word
Two
anyway,
amendments, really.
but we just an add-on. It's like, oh man, I forgot to put that in the paper. And then
Man,
you gotta add another
Yeah.
page.
Oh, we gotta add the nigga section right here.
Dang, I
I'm
gotta
telling
put
you,
that in
man,
the glossary.
I just don't get that thinking, man. And everything is politicized nowadays. It's scary, man. And you hit it on the nail, bro. Like if you wear a mask, they automatically people like, hey, we know who he with.
Automatically, ain't that
He
ridiculous?
must be voting
bro?
for Trump. But the problem is, man, and the thing about it, which I think where Trump missed the mark, you your job is to keep the country at a level where they feel like they're safe. You know what I mean? And you can't say, oh, don't worry about those masks. You don't need them. I'm not wearing mine tonight. You see that? That's not helping people.
At all, bro.
You know
but
what I
I think
mean?
you even said it too, J Star, in a sense, I think, as far as, you know, his racist tendencies and different things, as far as him just being ignorant. You know, I never forget, you know, about me being from Mobile, you know, I keep all close to the hurricanes and stuff. And I never forget the hurricane where it wasn't even supposed to hit Alabama. But because he said it was going to hit Alabama, his ego wouldn't say, you know what, my bad, I misspoke. He had everybody around him be a yes man to be like, oh yeah, you're right. To the point where he took a Sharpie and made a bubble on the forecast to include Alabama.
Yeah, that was a
Like, who
while
does
back.
that?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If somebody had came out and said, you know what, we don't need to wear masks. Masks is stupid. I bet you know what, he would have come in like, hey, we need to do masks. Because it's almost like he want to do opposite of what everybody else does to seem like it's his original idea one. And like I said, it's all ego.
The man hired Dr. Fauci, right? or listed him as a top advisor or whatever.
And then say,
and now he beefing with the dude.
he's a fraud.
Let's say
He's a fraud.
trash, man.
This
He's
your
a good
dude,
guy,
man.
but
This
he's
your
wrong
guy.
guy.
He mad he got a better approval rating. That's why he want to fire him now.
Right.
This is your guy, bro.
Bruh, speaking of that, James, bruh, I don't know if y'all noticed, man, this dude still talk like this junk is The Apprentice. Like everything that dude always talking about ratings. And yeah, they wasn't watching Sleepy Joe. I'm like, bro, who cares, bro? You literally up here for ratings, bro. Like
Yeah,
literally, bro.
He talked about
reality-
LeBron.
We in a reality show.
LeBron didn't have the ratings for the basketball game and this and that, and because they don't want to wear the flag, that's the reason why they ain't get no ratings.
Dude, we in a reality show, and I just hope
not about that, man.
This the series finale tonight.
See, I hope so, dog.
This is not about that,
man.
bro. Why do you even care about? See, that's that race inciting, you know, that's going on. That video we're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Where you making it a point to say, oh, I'm not gonna go to a football game because they not standing. I mean, what purpose does that serve? As you as the president, why do you care about, you know, a team not doing this or whatever? What if the people want to go and watch the game? Let them go watch the game. You don't have to comment on that.
Hanging on your words, man. No one is people out there hanging on your words, bro. And that's strange to me also, bro. I mean, I've seen strange stuff like that in our community where, you know, a certain group of people hang on a certain person's words, but man, the way they hang on the way this dude's words is insane to me, bro. Like,
it's because it's sparked with hate.
People, yeah, right. People literally try to drink bleach, bro. Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Hate is like that, and that's my part when I say, you know, not scared, but like hate is the one emotion that is unpredictable.
Yeah.
And you literally like the points we making, y'all. I would say none of us are just straight up just political guys. I've been knowing y'all over a decade. But if you really break down and look at his tweets, listen to as much as you can without getting a headache, his press conferences, dude, they're all laced in hate.
Yeah.
All of them.
They are.
You know, when he ran in 16, oh, you know, he talked to the Latinos. Oh, they're stealing your jobs. And then we're gonna keep the Mexicans out because they're rapists and murderers. Oh, and the blacks are doing this. The pain on hate. And then he's gotten in office, and that just literally just magnified. Like literally saying, like, those were Klansmen. President Trump. What do you got to say about the Klansmen in South Carolina that dude just took a car going about 60, 65 and just rammed into literally innocent people, bro? Well, I think there, you know, there was very bad people on both sides. What?
Yeah, bro.
What?
Yeah, bro.
You can't piss your fan base off.
And that's his thing. That's his fan base. That's like, you absolutely right.
You can't denounce and endorse.
It ain't even supporters at this point. It's a dude fan base. That dude has to have a fan base.
That's like a rapper that starts singing.
That's the part that's blowing my mind because we all knew he had a fan base.
Yeah.
Right. But like these numbers, this ain't fan base numbers. This is
not.
This is almost what just DZ said too.
Like
you got his fan base, but
numbers.
I think you got a lot of people just fear. Like they done push this, you know, BLM gonna come kick down your door. They
Yeah.
like you said, they putting out there the Democrats gonna take your guns. They gonna
The Mexicans gonna steal your
he's
jobs,
scaring
and
them. He's scaring them.
yep,
That man
everything
say,
is fear.
Suburbia. Suburban housewives, please love me.
Man,
Wow.
I heard a couple of people say, man, we gotta go load up on some ammo and
Yeah.
buy some more guns because they're gonna try to take it. I was like, who?
Yeah,
Who is
man.
they?
That's a real thing, man. It
When?
really is.
Hey, knock on. Hey, Jason, I need
Look
that
like
gun.
Florida a rap, man. Look like Trump gonna
Bro.
take Florida.
Yeah, he
So
probably take-
Vito, I'm sure you looking, but I just looked up and Ohio didn't turn red.
Bruh. Yeah, I see that jump, man. It's only 70%, and he ain't up by much. But I mean, that's scary, bro.
Let me ask y'all this, man, and feel free to get as personal as you want, but yeah, I think 4 of us in here, yeah, are from Mississippi. James, I heard you say Alabama, right? How do y'all
Mississippi
feel
State, brother.
about the current state that you live in and how they're performing?
Well, Mississippi is definitely always red. But I'm gonna say this, man. Being in Mississippi, there's you got, honestly, it's kind of a good mix. You got north, you got the central, and you got south in the coast, and it's pretty much each of those have like a major city.
Mhm.
In those major cities, you still see racism, of course, but it's honestly not as bad as a lot of people like to say, oh, the South is bad. It's, blah, blah, blah. Granted, Mississippi is a straight up red state, straight up conservative. I don't know if I've ever see it blue in my lifetime, but it's the racism is not as blatant and outward. You're gonna see your rebel flags and all that type of stuff, but it's not nearly as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. So current state for Mississippi, man, even though it's a red state, I can say like where I am in southern Mississippi, it's not necessarily a place that you're proud to be, but it's not a place that you have to be fearful of and be just afraid to move around, because it's some allies down here. I say that, and it's a good mix, especially on the coast.
So I would almost kind of say the same. I mean, with Alabama being kind of the same makeup, you got the coastal city, Mobile, where I'm from. You go a little further upstate, you got central area where Montgomery and Birmingham kind of sit, and then you got Huntsville at the top, and all those kind of your bigger cities and whatnot. What actually kind of I'll kind of say the same thing what Vito was saying. Down in Mobile, it's a lot more progressive than a lot of people think. I think it's just being that coastal area, and you have a mix of just so many. I mean, I can get to New Orleans from Mobile before I can get to Montgomery, and that's in my same state. So it's like you got a mixture of a lot of different cultures and different things of that nature on the coast. What I will say what surprised me is going to school up north, as far as in the state of Alabama. Because it seems like it gets more racist as you go further north, which is kind of crazy when most people think that you think deeper south, it'll be deeper in the tradition. But I didn't realize what people say about Alabama being backwards until I went upstate, because I was in a box of Mobile, and it was like, we're not that bad. We're a whole city, we're not backwards like that. It's racism, we're Alabama, but it's not like that. But it wasn't until I went upstate. I'll give you another thing. My baby mother, where she went to school at, she graduated 2002. Up until 2005, they had a separate white prom and black prom. And they had 2 high schools in this town where she's from, and the town had 2 stoplights. So, I mean, it's a population of maybe 3 grand, if that. And that's even talking about the whole county. And yet they have 2 high schools because they wanted to be separate. So it wasn't until, and for purposes of where she's at reference, it was up by Tuscaloosa area. So that's north central Alabama area. Yeah, it's a lot more racist than I thought it was when you go upstate. I would tell you that.
I can believe it. But I guess for me in Texas, man, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the people here and these, you probably can tell me different or whatever, but I feel like a lot of the people here are kind of undercover. But I also feel like a lot of the people here are more about money and showboat and elitism and things like that. Obviously, being from Mississippi, you probably, me personally, I wasn't a direct effect because my whole life was around Black people up until I got to college, and then you kind of see more things or whatever. But that's just my take on things. I feel like even though I live amongst everybody, I'm rather careful and watchful of people. So I'm real considerate of things. I'm paying attention pretty closely because I feel like, there is proof in numbers. Like when I go to the polls, my city is predominantly white. And I noticed when I go to they say, do you want to go to the Republican side or the Democratic side? Take me to the Democratic side, and that line ain't as long as the Republican side. So,
Wow.
so I'm like, but that's just the city I live in, right? I mean, Dallas, we talking different story, but it's hard to judge, man. But I bet if push come to shove, something will hit the fan, just like it did in Fort Worth. So,
facts. Well, I guess if we're gonna semi compare and contrast, y'all right now. Most of y'all know that me and Vito, we went to high school together. We know each other since like 7th, 8th grade. But we were from a really small town, but it was kind of 50-50. And I'll be honest, I really never felt like straight up racism come from like a massive group of people. Every now and again you hear somebody say something stupid, but it wasn't like super crazy. I really noticed racism at its like highest peak here in Texas. It's and not because people say something, but because they don't. The people in Monticello who were racist, everybody knew who they were. You could see who they were. You could tell who they were. They weren't shy. You knew, they don't like niggas. Don't talk to them. I'm just saying that's how my grandmother said it. Oh, hey, don't go down that road.
Yeah, you got that right. It's spots you can't go down.
don't you go down there? Okay, my mom. Oh, we ain't going there. And it's different out here because, like, I just talk to everybody, and then then somebody tell you later, like, man, like, he was kind of talking shit to you, and I was like, I'm like, what, really? Why? He's like, oh, because he kind of racist. I'm like, oh, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The crazy part about that is, you see that a lot here in Atlanta too, because you think Atlanta being so progressive and this and that, but a lot of people just forget, like, we still in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think even just talking about what Jesus saying is like that covertness. That's the worst one. That's the worst racism. And I think, and even go back to even J Star said, I think it's almost in the sense that because so much people are worried about their bottom line, their pocket, you can't necessarily be overt racist. You can't operate through corporate environment being an overt racist in a sense, So you have to protect your dollars and protect your brand, if you want to call it that. What you're seeing is, and what goes back to even just the beginning of what we talked about is, Trump is emboldening them to say what they say in their head out loud. And that's what's changing. It's always been there. And like you said,
it is.
If when you're in the deep South, it's easier because, again, they're so entrenched in their beliefs that, like you said, the neighborhood races, the town races. Like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with them. But we got kids that we send our kids to these schools. Right. I work with this lady. Nothing about this lady tells you she's a Trump supporter. Nothing about this lady. We drink coffee every morning. We sit by the water thing. She talk about SEC football. We all happy and good. But she a Trump supporter. And once I found that out, like I couldn't look at it the same way because it's like, what part of it that you actually, like about him?
I've
that
had
part
a
of it I'm gonna like about you for that purpose.
Gerard. No, who that? Gerard, you about to say something, bro?
I was waiting.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Talk about Memphis or Tennessee.
Yeah, what's
I mean, I guess I don't get the. I'm in Memphis, so it's very few just blatant stuff you go say around here.
well, J-Rod,
I don't get that part, but I mean, you like I don't Memphis is Memphis major city, but you got all the you got 10 towns, but they all Memphis. You got Cordova and Bartlett and Lakeland and Arlington and all that stuff. I guess my first racism was in Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you saw it was kind of blatant, more so, but I was younger. So I was like 5th, 6th grade. So it was like you really didn't realize it was racist till maybe you were like in high school or something with your parents, said it.
Look back.
Right. Now here it's definitely, and it probably makes me more mad. I'm not mad. Y'all know I'm getting mad, but it's more irritating because I can tolerate you. Hey, I don't like black people. Cool. You go your way, I go my way. But to me, it's more. I hate passive aggression. And out here, like when you get out to the outer skirts of Memphis, into the more rural areas, it's racism, man, but it's laced in this entitlement. Like, like they'll come in the bank and this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this and this and this, and you're gonna do this and I do. And I'm like,
where's your manager?
Who are you talking to?
Ma'am, I am the manager.
Number one, and then I'm like, you need something from me, and you can just tell. Like, so I got promoted like 2 years ago and ended up like hiring 2 people. One person came from like another branch. But anyway, long story short, we had 4 black employees and 2 whites. And the dude walks in, he's a regular, and wow, it's looking real different in here. I'm just sitting here like looking, and I'm like, knowing what you're saying, I'm like,
right.
But they do it. Hey, I need to talk to the manager. How may I help? No, I need to talk to the manager. So I turn around and turn back around. How may I help you? So, you find little ways to get them back, but
I heard y'all say it seemed like it's better for you if you know. But in a way, for me, like it's probably best you don't tell me. Like like if I find out like one of my coworkers or some guy coming in the bank or like I can't support that. Like I can't be around you. I can't work with you.
I feel you. That's probably why I need to know.
If you come in the bank and you say it look real different in here, you're going to go to the next person, bro, because I can't help you. Like,
and that's the thing. And see, my thing is, I find my joy in it. So I'm there, and I'm like, well, hey, you got 3 options. He's black, she's black, and I'm black. So you can shut up and get helped by somebody black.
You can go to the next bank.
You got 23 other branches you can go to the next bank. So you gotta find. You do, man. It's crazy. You gotta find your little wins, your little,
Yeah.
You're gonna give me this feedback, and there was a chance you were gonna get it back, but since you want to come at me like that, nah, bro, we can't do nothing for you. And then let me talk to your district, and then they find out your district is black. Oh, that's where I really get ticked. So that's how it is.
Man, we're gonna keep watching this election, man. By the time everybody watch this, I hope that Biden has won just to get this clown out of office, man. I'm tired of this dude, bro. But
Trump
man,
won Alabama
and y'all views and just hang in there. Look, hit HBCU up. You need somebody to talk to. We got you.
We might need somebody to talk to too, bro.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We appreciate
man,
y'all, man.
I would love to hear, like, if y'all listening, like what you feel like how you feel about your state right now in the hunt, you know, and
And
well,
what's
no
your
matter
drink?
what state you're in.
And
If
what's
you're in
your drink of
Texas,
choice? And what's your drink of choice for the man?
Drop
I
a
mean,
comment.
hey, Texas may be turning blue, man. I've been saying it for a minute, bro.
Man, it may be, but
So
it's looking gummy right now. But
we got a couple years, but you know,
all right, y'all. We appreciate it, man. HBCU. We out of here.
out.